I want to talk today about the idea of intuition as a symptom. Intuition not as a thing in itself, but simply a symptom or a signal of something else. Intuition is, as you've often heard me say, the language of the soul. Intuition is us talking to the universe and the universe talking back. And really, intuition is the awareness that the universe is talking back. But that conversation, that divine conversation, is simply an indicator of something else, something much more magnificent going on. That intuition activating in you, that sense of connectedness to divine consciousness, is you waking up to the truth of life, to the truth of your life, to the truth of my life, to the truth of everyone's life, that we are not here in isolated experiences, but we are part of oneness. And what is the potential, the possibility of that for you? This is where it gets really interesting. I teach people intuition in a number of different ways, but I don't teach them intuition as an end point, as something that you get and then you go home and that's it and you go back to your life at whatever stage or phase it is. Intuition, in the way that it is taught by me and by many others in the world, is knowing that there is an interconnectivity to which you can tap into and access and master. And you can then bring your life into accordance with the highest possible potential, with the highest vibration, with your wildest dreams. When I teach intuition, I teach it from the perspective of three things. Intuition as a manifestation tool, intuition as a tool for accessing your own magic, and intuition as a tool for attaining mastery. When we recognize that intuition is just a symptom, we realize that we're actually seeking to activate something else. And what we're seeking to activate is the remembrance or the knowing of ourself as an intimate part of the divine matrix or the unified field that we can influence and change when we learn how to speak the language of that field. And the language of the field speaks to us in a certain way, in a certain state, that is intuition at work. When we begin to go on the journey of activating your intuition, when you come and sit with me and we go into that sacred temple together, go into sacred time and space together, the first thing you're going to learn are the tools that are going to set you up to manifest your best life. And I'm going to give you one of those tools right now. This is just absolutely the science of intuition. This is knowing that we are part of the divine matrix and putting it into action so that we are not feeling impotent in our own lives, but in fact that we're creating. So this is what I want you to understand and to practice. When we generate a vision of our life, so often what happens is we feel the inspiration, we see the vision of what we want to come into being, and then we start to take action around it and the fear begins to come up. So we have a thought. The thought might be that I'm going to set myself up in my own business and that's going to be a huge success and I'm not going to have to go and work for someone else. What an amazing, amazing vision. And then we have that thought. That thought is innocent and it comes from the higher three chakras. And then we have an emotion that comes up to meet that innocent thought, that thought of I'm going to set myself up in my own business and I'm going to be able to be financially independent. And what comes up is an emotion from the bottom three chakras to meet that thought, that innocent thought. And that usually the emotions that we experience are one of two things, love or fear. Really, they're the only two emotions. They take on a lot of different guises, but ultimately what's coming up from these lower three chakras when we start to hold a vision for our life is fear. Fear of failure, fear of what we've seen happen in the past to perhaps our families or to our loved ones or to people out in the world, fear of future failure, fear of not being able to create what we need to do, or fear of our own capacity, usually in the form of a lack of self-worth or radical self-doubt. What happens then is that we're holding this beautiful idea, this thought, I'm going to be successful running my own business. The fear-based emotion comes up to meet it and it generates a feeling state in the heart chakra. The heart chakra has the largest magnetic field of any part of your body, and it generates or radiates out into the divine matrix or the unified field, carrying your hopes and your dreams in a feeling state, and it programs your consciousness, your reality, your life with that feeling state. Now, when we think about the law of attraction or manifesting our lives, we often think it's about the thoughts that we hold, but we're not understanding the science or the language of how the field works, the field that is us and will bring us that which we desire. It isn't responding to thoughts, it isn't responding to emotions, it's responding to the sum of those two things, the feeling state. So when you hold a thought, meet it with a fear-based emotion and pump out that feeling, what you're actually pumping out then is, I'm never going to have my own business. I'm never going to be successful. I want to give you a shortcut to how we get past the fear-based emotions, how we circumvent the mind, which tells us we are unworthy and not capable, and generates more of that feeling state, which is unintentionally programming the field. This is the practice of gratitude. You can think of it as thanks, you can think of it as love, you can think of it as appreciation, whatever language works for you. But what I want you to understand, it is the absolute lubricant of the soul. It's the lubricant of the divine matrix. When you hold the vibrational frequency of gratitude and pump that out into the field for 5 minutes each day, that's all you need to do. You are no longer needing to keep this monkey mind, in check. You're not having to program every single thing. I want this, I want that car, success means this much money. You are simply holding the vibration in which your best possible life comes flooding in towards you. So what I get you to do is go into a meditative state, very simply. Use your breath, deepen your breath, in through the nose, letting it go out through the mouth, and then let your breathing return to its own natural rhythm. And then I want you to cast your mind back, over the last 24 hours. And I want you to recall a number of things, let's say 3 things for which you feel immense gratitude. And I want you to allow your mind, your heart, to sit on those things for which you feel gratitude until you generate the feeling of gratitude for those things. Really recall it in as much rich detail as you need to. It may simply be an amazing piece of cake or a beautiful smile from a stranger or, an unexpected phone call. Don't judge what those things are. Let them rise up and hold this vibration of gratitude in your heart. The magnetic field that surrounds your heart then carries that message out into the universe. And the message is, bring me my best life. With ease and grace, allow it to flow towards me. Because my vibration now is at such a fine, high level that it's impossible for anything other than the best to come towards me. This is intuition in action. This is what I teach you when I teach you how to use intuition to create your best life. Intuition for manifesting is the first step. In the next 2 videos, I'm going to introduce you to intuition for your own magic and talk about what that is, and intuition for mastery, where you become the creator of consciousness of your life in every living breath. I look forward for you joining me in the next 2 videos and letting me know how you go with this gratitude practice in order to align and to manifest your greatest desires. Namaskar, dear ones.